Greetings for everyone. I'm Oscar Palacios. I'm a student of English, of Bachelor in English as a Foreign Language. This is my critical video of a research project. To start, I would like to start with something that is very important and special for me in this research. That was the prior ideas that we have at the beginning of this project. First of all, I have to say that it's focused only in the middle age people from 45 to 60 years old. And I have some previous hypotheses like the emotional or inaffective factor. Um, I thought that maybe they felt confidence, they don't feel confidence to work with mixed people. When I'm saying mixed people, I'm talking about the ages. They don't feel confidence to have in a class with people from different ages. So that was another of our prior ideas, or my prior ideas at the beginning of this research project. The other one was the methods or approaches of learning maybe are not suitable for this kind of population, and that's something that maybe is quite difficult to guess at the beginning. And another prior idea that I have about this project is the technology tools. Maybe they don't feel confident and they don't want to use this type of technology tools to learn English. Okay, so after doing this part of the research, I was checking out some material and references, and I have found interesting things about that one. For example, one of the findings was the Colombia doesn't have an educational policy for elderly people. Mm, the skills of teacher are not focused on training or are not focused on the skills for learning or teaching this kind of people. So maybe we as teachers we need more training in this topic. Uh, Another finding that I have here is an interesting finding, and is that it has several benefits in emotional and mental health. Um, okay, but then I started doing a survey. That was an interesting survey. In this survey, participated like 15 or 16 people participated in this survey, and the conclusions that I got from there are really interesting. So, for example, the people age average in the survey was 42 to 64 years, and 83% of interview is interested in learning English. The second conclusion that I have here is that the main motivation is not about working or traveling or things like that. Is the main motivation for them is the personal challenge. It's a personal goal that they want to achieve. Another conclusion, that is the third conclusion that I have with this survey, is that about 60% are professionals, and that means that they have a university degree, but maybe they didn't have the opportunity to learn English in their universities at the moment where they were doing their studies in the university. And the conclusion for that I have from this survey is that 50% of them had been in language center trying to learn English, but they didn't succeed. So it's a shame. The conclusion number 5 is that 30% of people mention that methodology used was not the correct one, and 20% mentioned they didn't understand their teacher. So there are two factors that affected their learning in previous attempts to learn English. And another conclusion that I have from the survey is that 83% of people don't worry about learning with younger or older people. And that point is interesting because at the beginning of the survey, of the research project, I have a prior idea that maybe the mixed classes, talking about age, could be a problem for older people. But they mention they don't worry about, they don't matter to learn with younger people or older people at all. Um, the next conclusion is that 70% of them found more difficult to develop speaking or writing skills. They think the most difficult skills to develop are these two, speaking and writing. And the next conclusion is that 58% of people think the best way to provide classes uh, in the pandemic framework that we live in is blended learning rather than face-to-face or virtual environment. That it was an interesting thing. And the conclusion number 9, and that is the last conclusion, is something that was surprising for me in the survey, and is the 100% of people are willing to use technology, gadgets, and websites. So I think it's something really interesting, and yeah, I learned a lot. I changed my prior ideas and my belief about these things, and that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.